How does it feel to be a Disney princess? Can we say you're a Disney princess?
I think you can.
Super cool title, even cooler stories.
Ooh,
Ooh, what?
I like that.
Thank you. What appealed to you about taking on this horror role in an anthology series?
Mainly the idea of sort of exploring privilege and jealousy and envy, all of these things that I think are really prevalent in our culture that are sort of perpetuated by a capitalist society that tells us what type of person we need to be. But yeah, that's what I wanted to explore. And I read it and it felt like visceral to me.
I have to imagine how bizarre and surreal it is to even just in a role to put on a wedding dress and run around.
It was so cool. Also, to be in the forest in a wedding dress is like a very different thing. Um, my friends and I were actually, I have this play reading group. This is such a non sequitur story, but you're hearing it. I have this play reading group, and we were talking about like going to a thrift store and getting like old wedding dresses, and then like going to a park and having wine. Like that's something that we want to do.
Yes.
People will be like, "You guys are crazy," and we'll be like, "We don't care." But yeah, it was a really cool experience. It felt like really wrestling with where does desperation take you as a human, and yeah, just sort of like let all of those emotions just be in my body as I'm running through the forest and like dirtying this like incredibly beautiful dress. It was really messy and cool, and just it felt like a heightened version of reality. Like I think we've all probably had experiences where we feel like doing something like that, but we don't actually do it. It was kind of hard to do it.
Do you mean run through the forest in a wedding dress?
Doesn't everybody want to run through the forest in a wedding dress?
Yes. Yes. Put on Taylor Swift's Folklore and just run through the
Yes!
forest in a wedding dress.
Taylor Swift.
You put me on and said I was your favorite.
I don't want to give too much away, but your character plays this really cool line of like, I can't tell if she's good or if she's bad.
It almost is really fun because in those moments, a lot of the times, she doesn't know if she's good or bad. Like she doesn't know what she's gonna do next, And I think that is very true to life. Like what makes a good person? What makes a bad person? A lot of times there is not a easy answer. It's not just this person's a bad person because they did this one thing. Most of the time it's, oh, we're not actually aware of the context in which this person performs this act. And there's all of these other aspects and all these other factors that are not being considered. And are there bad people and are there good people? Or are there only good people that do bad things sometimes? Or are there bad people that do good things sometimes? Like all of these questions were things that I was wrestling with as I was playing this character. And it was really fun and also scary.
That's so interesting because I think that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. When someone blows something up on Twitter or whatever, if something that somebody did, it's like, oh, are they inherently a bad person though, just because they made this misstep or mistake or action? Very interesting.
Yeah, it's so hard. Cancel culture is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. And it's that balance of like, we do want to call people out when something is problematic. But at the same time, does that mean they don't get to exist in the world anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there is one right answer. I think it's a nuanced case by case thing, Yeah. I feel like the more you have friends in your life who are willing to just have hard conversations with you, the better it is. There are so many things that we're all blind to, not trying to be, but we just are.
No, you're so right. You're so right. So you like straight up quit social media. Best decision ever. What do you think?
Best decision ever. I think that, it's a different decision for everyone. And I think that people should do what they think is right for them. I also think that it was the best thing I ever did. I don't know. I don't, it's funny. It feels like some people are still shocked by it sometimes. I'm like, no, I just did what was best for me.
Yeah.
Why is that so shocking? Yeah, I feel great about it.
You've done a lot of voice roles recently, and it was announced you're taking over the role of Raya in Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, I mean, first of all, how does it feel to be a Disney princess? Can we say you're a Disney princess?
I think you can. Crazy. You were there that night when Last Jedi came out, and I was so overwhelmed by emotion that I didn't understand it. I'm having a very similar experience with Raya and the Last Dragon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why or how I got to be involved in these things. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've always wanted to be a performer. I've always wanted to tell stories, but I feel like the things that I've been able to do thus far say a lot more about the people around me than me, if that makes sense. Like Raya and working with Carlos and Dawn and Oz, all these incredible people, and also having Jamie Roberts, who cast that movie and who believed in me more than I did and probably still does. Like, I have not grasped that yet. It feels very, very unreal and doesn't make sense. And I am so excited for people to see it.
Where are you at with her? Have you started doing the voicing? Or are you kind of in like a learning about her research phase?
So we've been basically doing a lot of the voice over throughout quarantine. So I can't even count how many times I've recorded for it, but I think it's pretty much done. Yeah, and it's such a beautiful movie. The writing's incredible. I mean, obviously the animation is incredible, and the story itself, I think, is really, really powerful.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I'm so happy about that.
Thank you so much.
It is spooky season, which is my favorite season. Are you a spooky girl? What does your ideal like Halloween look like beyond watching Monsterland?
Oh my gosh, I want to show you my apartment, but I'm gonna mess up this whole setup. I have I'll show you a picture of my phone.
Yeah, show me.
I decorated my apartment because it's Halloween spooky season. This is my mantle place. I don't even know what this is. You know those places that have fake fireplaces? That's what this is. But look, it's spooky.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so great.
Yeah, so I love Halloween. I'm like so basic about those pumpkin candles. I'm like, yeah, whip them out. It's September 30th. Time for the pumpkin candles to come out.
Yes.
Yeah, and I always watch a bunch of classics. And by classics, I mean movies that aren't actually scary, but are Halloween themed, like Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
That's my vibe. That is my vibe.